Run, hide, fight. Those were the words that we received via text, via email, via phone call to alert us that there was an active shooter on campus.
I don't know that I ever thought that it would happen at Michigan State. The fact that it happened here only ignited us further to continue our work and to look at creative solutions for violence prevention.
I'm Dr. Heather McCauley. I'm an associate professor in the School of Social Work at Michigan State University. And my graduate training is in global health and social epidemiology.
And I'm Jo Smith-Darden. I am the Ruth Kohler Endowed Professor in Children's Services and Associate Professor at the Michigan State School of Social Work.
In February, there was a mass shooting incident here at Michigan State University. It's greatly impacted students, faculty, and staff in terms of the sense of safety, a sense of belonging. When it comes home to your home, it really makes you think differently about it.
It was important in the wake of February 13th that our students have spaces to come together and just be with one another.
Room 155 is an opportunity for folks to come and relax, refresh, and reflect. Berkey Hall is not open, and so many of our students were taking classes there, and this is really just an alternative space for folks to take a break and get away from things.
Like positive, like very uplifting environment as well.
Heather and I started to work on some projects around community change. The bell idea came about because it's something that any community can do. Messages are left, and the idea is that when you hear the bells chime or when you hear them on the trees and the wind blows, and those sounds symbolize that change is in the wind. So the idea is that change is coming.
High five, high five. High five it. Love it.
Spark Research for Social Change is purpose-driven. It values social justice. It's a collaborative space for people with those shared values to come together and normalize conversations around violence prevention, normalize conversations that empower community.
The Spark Lab is based here in the School of Social Work at Michigan State University. It was the creation of Dr. Smith-Darden and Dr. Heather McCauley. They came together really with a shared passion to innovate and create new ways of looking at violence, approaching violence prevention, and working with communities.
We like a good theme.
We do like a good theme, and we kept trying to think of what descriptor would work best around the aspects of our work together. And it was about igniting, sparking, in some way kindling ideas that maybe haven't been tried before in terms of research approaches.
The name really describes the dynamic very well. I like to think of it as like a think hub or a think tank for scholars from different backgrounds. It's an interdisciplinary hub for people to come together and spark ideas, share presentations. We ask each other very important questions about what it means to make social change. We collaborate in a way that is very supportive.
And it really is a jumping off point for kind of the next generation of violence researchers and violence prevention researchers. It's really exciting to have this lab in social work because it is a model that's been used quite a bit in other sciences. We don't tend to see the lab model used as much in social work, but it's a really powerful change agent.
I should not have to consider which backpack will provide the most safety against gun violence when sending my son to school.
The events that have occurred here on our campus these last several months have allowed students to shift gears. A lot of our students, even in some of their coursework this term, have taken on policy efforts, have taken legislation before, the state representatives, as well as local communities and K-12 schools. And they now are finding ways to actively engage in policy and advocacy around gun violence, but also around legislation.
Our students were really active in some of the gun violence legislation that Michigan just passed. And that was, I think, a direct result of the shooting happening here in their home. Luckily, we have an incredible group of faculty that will help guide them and help them understand the community impacts, the research impacts, and really what we need to do to be intervening to eradicate violence.
I believe when our students choose a program, they have to be bold and brave to choose to make the dedication to study social work. And in response to that, our program has continued to be bold and brave in terms of our programming, our offering, and the work that we're doing in the community. That has allowed us to fulfill our mission as a land-grant institution, ensuring that we have access to folks across the state of Michigan. We are also seeing an increasing number of folks coming from out of state as well as international because of the reach of our programs.
Our hope is that we grow researchers that want to carry on this work in a different way, with a different lens, in ways that Heather and I haven't even thought about yet. So as they march out into this world, whether it's across the country, globally, we hope that they go forward and think of innovative ways to address violence prevention.
I'm a social epidemiologist by training, which means I'm interested in the ways our health and well-being are shaped by the social forces that organize our society. More specifically, I have spent the last 2 decades focused on how we can prevent violence in our relationships, schools, and communities. Our research teams have found that fostering a sense of belonging is one of the most powerful acts we can leverage to create a safe and just future. My friends, this is something we know how to do as Spartans, and I ask you to never forget that you have this special skill in your toolbox. To the graduating class of 2023, we are Spartans today and always. Go green.